Hey there everyone, and welcome to my first episode of, well, idiots writing code. Now, this basically, I'm trying to work on the main menu in Project Flex, or Peacenet, and, well, I'm trying to make it so that when it plays a cutscene, the background music of the main menu, since it's specialized, fades out. And when the cutscene ends, it fades back in. Now, here's how I did it. So if we scroll up here, there we go. No, I can't remember where it is. Oh, it's right here. We have a private boolean called has volume been adjusted, and it's set to true. And of course, in the initiate method, I'll have a tutorial on how to do all this stuff in the end because there's some stuff going on here in the behind the scenes that you won't be able to see in this video. Loading in all our assets and setting up events and stuff like that, and it's loading in all the Anders and music for the main menu, Dreams Inc., and then some looped versions of it. And then in frame draw, we make it so that the user interface doesn't draw if a cutscene is playing. And we also, down here, this is where the meat of it occurs. So we have an if statement that says, if cutscene is playing, then do this stuff here. And then inside that if statement, we have another one, if has volume been adjusted, and this basically means, are we playing a cutscene and is the volume at 100%? If so, we slowly fade out the volume of each track until it hits 0. And of course you do a clamp here so that it's always between 0 and 1. Once it hits 0, we set has volume been adjusted to false. And then down here we have an else statement that handles if it is already false and we are playing a cutscene. And we basically do the same thing, but in reverse. We increase the volume. Once it hits 1, we set has volume been adjusted to true. Now, the desired effect would be when the cutscene starts playing, it decreases volume and stays quiet until the cutscene is ended, because, for example, there could be other Anders Hansen music playing in the background of the cutscene, and who wants to listen to 2 songs at once at full volume? Anyway, now I know exactly how to do that, but I wasn't thinking when I wrote this, and instead, well, this is what happens. As you can probably hear and see, everything's working right. The user interface isn't drawing, and the music is fading out, but it's also fading back in. Now, why is that? Well, let's have a look. Let's set a breakpoint here. You'll see, okay, we hit right at volume less than or equal to 0. Now let's set a breakpoint here. And resume. And now it's playing. It's stopped right here. Now it's not going to loop because the game's not updating, but let's play it again. It fades out, fades back in, fades out, fades back in. Now, here's why. If you don't know, an if statement will evaluate to true if the variable is if the expression evaluates to true. It'll always run that code. That's pretty simple. It's basic programming knowledge there. A beginner Visual Basic user could know that. The cutscene is always playing because it's I have it set up in a debug mode where it's always playing a cutscene, even though it's not. But this code is running when the cutscene is playing. We don't want that to happen while the cutscene is playing. We want it to happen when it's not playing. So the correct spot to put this else statement would be down here. And then the next thing you would want to do is to keep the volume from constantly going up and then having this constantly being run when it doesn't need to. We add another if statement inside here. If has volume being adjusted is equal to false, then run this code. And let's end the game and stop debugging and see what happens. We hit the breakpoint. Now the game's running at full 60 FPS with a lot of RAM usage. That's because these are uncompressed waves here. But we're not hitting any breakpoints. We're not hitting this one. It is working perfectly. So that's an example of if statements and code being in the wrong spot and having to place it in the right spot to get it to work right. And that is an instance of me being an idiot programmer. I will see you guys in the next video.